Sorry guys, this is not the off-roading you wanted. This is the off-roading you deserved. Alright, so we are recording now. Don't worry, anything can be removed from post-edit, so good morning, well shit family. So I came out here to Arkansas again for the weekend. Yesterday I unfortunately did not get a whole lot of footage, any trail stuff, not much anyways. Ended up spending a good portion of the night looking for a spot to bed down for the evening. As you all know, I am a hammock camper, and it is absolutely amazing how difficult it is to find trees in the middle of a damn forest. Crazy, but true. So in the process of that, we ran into this young man sitting next to me to my left. His name is Jake. Not Jake from State Farm.
If I had a
and he kind of was finding himself in a similar situation. Jake being from the Fayetteville area, correct? Mm-hmm. More familiar with the area, and he actually led us to where we are at now, called Birds
Adventure Center.
Birds Adventure Center, campground, full service OHV park area. We're actually getting ready. He's going to take me out and show me some of the trails a little bit later on this afternoon. Everywhere from Class A RV camping down to primitive Wi-Fi, shower house, the whole 9 yards, guys. It's if you got your maps, I would definitely mark it as a waypoint for in the future if you're down in this area. It's definitely getting marked on my Onyx map as well. So Jake here has offered to, has agreed to do a little bit of interview, which is, this is going to be a new thing for the channel. I've never actually interviewed anybody before. And we were discussing earlier kind of what we would like to discuss. And I think what it boiled down to was camaraderie on the trail. And I think this is something that I've talked about before in one of my live chats. I've referred to as Fellowship of the Fire, is kind of what I labeled that one as to why I feel that's so important to this lifestyle. So so that's what we're going to talk about. We're going to talk about the community, how everybody's here for the same goal, same purpose, disconnect, get away, meet new people, have adventure. And this relationship that got forged yesterday is proof as to why that is the case and why this whole Jeeping community is so awesome, plain and simple. So I guess we'll start off here real quick. So Jake, how long have you been off-roading? How long have you been in this community?
Civilian side, quite a while. I used to run Toyotas, as we were talking about last night. Mm-hmm. So, and I love Toyotas, and for all the Toyota fanboys out there, yeah, I betrayed you. I know I went and got a Jeep, but hey man, I got tired of being passed up climbing up the hills. I know it won't last as long as a Toyota. Sorry, Jeepers, but facts are facts. But, you know.
Right. So we talked a little bit last night, and you had kind of hit on my level of experience, and I, told you that I've only been doing this for 3 years myself, and it's awesome that you're out here, and I've made this clear before. I think that it's not just about Jeeps for my channel. It's getting out. Period. It's about the adventure, and that's what he's doing. Going from Toyota to Jeep, it doesn't matter. what you're doing. There's actually, I've seen a couple guys out here actually on adventure bikes. One just packed up and rolled up. So,
Yeah,
you know, it's the community as a whole, not just a vehicular sect. I would say definitely.
Yeah, just get out of the house, get off the Wi-Fi, get off the phone, see it for yourself. So many people like to look at it through a lens and a screen. And it's so much better. in
Sorry,
person.
YouTube.
Yeah. I mean, for people that are less fortunate, maybe that can't really get out or something, or people in places of the world where they don't have these blessings, you know, it's great that there's a platform where we can share these kind of things. But,
Right.
ultimately, if you can, get out.
So, as for the camaraderie and everything, like I said, how explained how we kind of met, came across paths last night. What's your view on that? How do you feel? What's your thoughts and opinions of just how this community has the ability to just be a perfect stranger and just all of a sudden, hey, follow me, and not like this guy. I'm like, hey, are you on radio? It's like, I got this. I'm like, hey, like 9-year-old kids, here's a walkie-talkie. Let's play walkie-talkies. And you know.
Yeah, I need to.
So I mean, how do you feel about? I mean, what's your take on that versus other activities where they say they have that level of community, but is it stronger in this level, do you think, or is it? Well, what is it? What is it that brings us all together that allow us to be able to do something like that? To just wave you on, like, hey, you know. At first, I'm like, why are you following me? But you know.
Yeah. No, yeah. So, my opinion, like, I can't speak for a lot of other communities. I mean, I've been in the car communities with sports cars, muscle cars, racers, all that stuff. And that was when I was younger. And there's a lot of division in those communities. Like, you know, like if you're driving the rice can, like the muscle car guys don't want to deal with you,
Right.
and vice versa, which it's kind of split there. Motorcycles, I've ridden for 16 years. That's a close-knit community, but it's also kind of niche.
It is very divided.
Yeah. This community, I would say that where it really comes together, and what I like about it, is it reminds me a lot of the military.
Okay.
It's kind of like, so adventure is kind of a struggle. It is a struggle. I mean, you've got to problem solve. You've got to figure out. You've got to pick your lines. If you break on the trail, etc.
Yep.
And I think that's one of the hot buttons that brings everybody together in this community.
Yep.
Is sharing experience, problem solving, and that always builds camaraderie.
It does. It really does. I agree with that wholeheartedly. Yeah, I mean, and you're right. I mean, I have been involved with the motorcycle club scene for several years. I've been around clubbers my whole life, and it can be a very heated, politically charged climate.
Well, it's like if you ride
But
a Harley.
I don't have that here with this level. I mean, yeah, you got your taco guys versus your Jeep guys, but it has always been, what I've seen has been a friendly competition than
just as compared to some of the motorcycle community. You know, like if you ride a Harley and you look over at a sport bike and it's a plastic piece of shit, you don't want to talk to them.
I'm guilty.
Yeah, well, me
Guilty
too.
as charged.
Me too, and funny enough, I've ridden both.
So have I. So I've actually went from a Triumph to a Harley.
Nice.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I mean, out here though, like, I mean, man, if you're in a taco and you sink in a mud hole, or you're in a Jeep and you sink in a mud hole, or you break an axle or something like that, there's like the winch on your Jeep, it doesn't know the difference between a Tacoma and a Jeep. You're still going to stop and help the guy out.
Now, don't get us wrong with this. We are still going to stop and laugh for a good 5 or 10 minutes before we say, okay, now it's time to come help.
Yeah, but the help is there.
Yes, exactly. Situation last night. Me and Mrs. Shit trying to find a place to bed down for the night. Similar situation. You know, that's how we came together. That need to problem solve, and it worked out. And now, after we split part ways this afternoon, whenever I go back up north to St. Louis and he's staying here relatively close to home, there will be a kinship that's been formed here, and truthfully, hopefully, a partnership to help with my whole online community that I'm trying to build, and definitely blessed. Blessed would definitely be a word that, you know, to use for this whole culture as a whole, really. I mean, you hit it right. Not everybody is blessed to be able to get out here and enjoy these things.
And that, you know, that leads into a topic we were discussing before going on camera, and that's, you know, with the popularity growing of overlanding and off-roading and stuff like that. I mean, you're starting to see some more Geardos come into the scene. You're starting to see just brand snob stuff. And that's something, like, especially, like, I'm looking at you guys. I don't care whether you're 10 years experience, whether you've been on YouTube for 15 years and you know, you're monetizing stuff. The best thing we can do, man, is to keep this community humble and together.
Yep.
It doesn't matter whether somebody's running a Harbor Freight winch or a Warn winch. I mean, it's a winch.
Exactly.
You know, yeah, I mean, ultimately, just keep everything cordial, humble, and that's the big thing about this thing, is being humble, getting outdoors and connecting.
Yep. And what I really like about meeting up with Jake is he's had this Rubicon for what, a grand total of 4 days now?
A week.
A week.
Yeah.
A week. So he's pretty well starting fresh with all of this. And as part of my mindset for the way I want to operate this channel, which that's another video to come for a mission and vision statement for you guys later. But part of it is I want to show the world that you don't have to have the super high-end budget, that camping is still a poor man's vacation. You know, the outdoors, this whole lifestyle community, it's not just for the super rich. It is out there for everybody to enjoy. God created us all equal. I don't care if you make $25,000 a year or $200,000 a year. I don't care what your budget is. The point is, for this, is to show you guys, the world, that it doesn't matter what you're rolling in, no matter what your budget is, it doesn't matter. Nobody should be able to say, man, I'd like to do that, but there's no way I can afford to do it. And I'm here to debunk that myth and to show that everybody, it doesn't take much.
Yeah, and that's another thing too. You know, I was thinking for a long time, like I was talking to you last night, about doing something maybe on YouTube, but I didn't really get started. You know, life got in the way and stuff like that. But like every man's overland type of deal. You know,
exactly.
like, you don't have to spend $3,000 on a rooftop tent to get started. Like I'm guilty of that. Before I started doing this, I waited around thinking, man, I gotta have this, I gotta have that before I go out there. Man, no, I went to Sam's and bought a tent and was camping out of my overlanding out of my 4Runner that I had before. So, and if you're not fortunate enough at the time to get an off-road vehicle, find somebody like one of us. You know, like, comment, subscribe, and share his channel, and send him a message. Reach out to him. You know, I'm sure he'd be more than willing to take somebody on a trail.
Oh,
it gets you out there.
Oh yeah, definitely. And you know, we were talking about vehicles and capabilities and all that stuff. And I'd done a live stream a few months ago about what people feel that they would recommend for the newbie's first mod. And so many people kept throwing out there wheels, tires, lifts. Tires, yes, I agree wholeheartedly. But, you know, the expensive things like the lifts and stuff like that, man, that is all subjective to the environment, what you're going to be in. I have met guys that literally are overlanding out of a Mazda hatchback, you know. So you don't have to have all that. And if you do want all that, that's great. But if you can't just start out and just like build it, it's okay. I've had my Rubicon since November. I've had the lift kit sitting in my living room since October. I still haven't installed it. And I'm still doing some gnarly shit with this thing that I shouldn't be doing. But I know the capabilities, limits of my rig. And as long as you keep those things in mind, you know, you can still go out and enjoy it and have fun. You know, there's nothing wrong with flat landing.
Yeah, that's something else I was going to touch on too, like overlanding. Hey, come here, stay here. This is Sapphire, by the way. You know, overlanding isn't just steep hills, mud holes, and just getting way out where like guys on 37s and 4-inch lifts go all the time. I mean, it's as simple as, you know, pack up in the back of your Honda Accord and hit a couple dirt roads. There's tons of national parks across the country. I mean, in a way, that's overlanding in and of itself.
And I'm glad you kind of started to make a little bit of a distinction there, because I think a lot of people don't realize that if they think of overlanding, everybody's mind just instantly just goes to off-roading. Off-roading goes straight to mudding. Mudding goes straight to rednecks, square body Chevrolets with lift kits and blown 350 motors. Am I right?
Yeah.
So, but that's not the case, all right? Where overlanding, you don't have to have all that stuff. It's car camping, guys. It's car camping. It's taking the back road, the dirt road. It's taking the unbeaten path with the destination.
Yep.
Is the way I like to explain it. Overlanding is off-roading with the destination.
Technically, if people really want to get technical, I guess it'd really be on horseback and kind of living off the land and traveling like an excursion. But the modern twist on that, you know, you incorporate vehicles, 4x4s, whatever. The overwhelming theme here pretty much is just get out.
Exactly.
Stop. You know, you only live once. I know that's worn out, but it's true. Life is short, and you just need to get off the screen and get out.
It's about disconnecting, unplugging, and this is nature's Prozac out here. I'm telling you guys, you know, and we were talking about something else we hit on last night, is I tend to hit a state of depression, and that's where I was at, and I just decided during my lunch break Friday afternoon, like, I'm going camping, because I had to. It was time. I needed that disconnect, and that's what so many of us really need, and just that opportunity to recharge.
Yeah, I mean, you know, I've had my own struggles, you know, post-military service, and I swore to myself while I was in the Army that I would never go camping again. Never. Here I am. And you know what? Like, every time I go out, I'm just recharged and ready to go back.
Oh, yeah. It's absolutely amazing what it does. I mean, yeah, you are tired when you get back because it's work. It can be work. But you are so recharged on the mental level that it is... Everybody should experience it. Mrs. Shit, everybody needs to experience this.
Yeah. Don't let it fool you guys, because I know you see a lot of, you know, YouTube and stuff like that, especially if you're following overlanding channels and stuff like that, where people go out and it's smiles and rainbows and sunshine. But there's a lot. And don't let this discourage you either, though. But just know what to expect. You know, you're gonna work. You're gonna set up your tent. You're gonna tear your tent down. You're gonna cook. You're gonna, I guess, you know, like, it builds a camaraderie, though. You go with somebody and you work together, and, you know, it's simple as setting up a tent together. Now, if you're a couple, you may bicker a little bit, but you probably laugh, hopefully. If not, maybe reevaluate, but you're good.
With that being said, 30-ply trash bags, people. 30-ply trash bags. Do with that information what you will.
Hide the paracord from your wife.
So yeah, I think that really covers a lot of it. Once again, Jake, I want to thank you for us. You know, you definitely saved us from a very questionable campsite area last night. Definitely, definitely introduced us to a awesome new area, which is now going to be pinned onto my map for next time I come down here. Great spot, great people, new contact, only contact in Arkansas at this point for me. So, you know, definitely a new opportunity for me to grow as myself. Hopefully that I can take what little bit of knowledge and experience that I have, pass it on to this young man as he is getting more and more involved into the Jeep community, and get him up our way, maybe introduce him to maybe get him up to Vandy's Off-Road Park, get us hanging out with the Central Missouri Jeepers or Callaway County Off-Road, any of those groups, and really get him the opportunity to spread his wings and meet more people from different areas, different outlooks on, you know, the lifestyle, and I'm looking forward to building this relationship.
Yeah, and I will say, guys, you know, as a local, I guess, if you're coming to the Ozarks, have a plan. There's a lot of public land, but the area, it's not, there's some sketchy places, and there's some people that don't like you trotting into their property. So you really want to make sure that you're you're picking places to camp, you're doing all your due diligence to try to respect that. 'Cause that's another thing, you know, the more we respect other people, especially as a community, the more open, I don't know, how would you phrase that? You know, because, for example, trails get shut down all the time.
Yep.
Because landowners complaining, you know, people will tear off in their off-road vehicles into some farmer's field and tear it up, not knowing that it's a farmer's land, you know?
Right. So I think really the two key takeaways we're getting at here, number one, be respectful.
Mm-hmm. Police
Yourself, police the people you're around. And, you know, if you're into Boy Scouts or Girl Scouts or whatever growing up, leave it cleaner than what it was when you found it. I was going around here picking up other people's trash this morning that was here when we got here. You know, so one, be respectful, not only because, you know, it's the right thing to do for the environment, what have you, but you are in somebody else's backyard. And also, too, with every situation in life, situational awareness is key. There are plenty of tools out there to make sure that you are on the right side of the fence. I'm a big proponent of Onyx Off-Road, where it lays out property lines and whatnot, and so on and so forth. Other people are all about Gaia and other online, but I always have the ability to know where I'm at. And so
key thing is plan ahead, be respectful, remain humble.
Yep.
You know, I mean.
All right. Well, with that being said, we're going to finish packing up here, and we're going to go explore some of the trails that Birds has to offer. And I think at that point, me and Jake are going to split ways. I think he's heading back home after this. We still got another day out, so I think we're going to hit up the Car Wash Falls area, and that's where I went back in the February trip that I was down here. And so yeah, so I want to thank Jake for his hospitality, guys. It's been bar none. I'm very minimalist, and you know, I came down for breakfast with a half gallon of milk and some Frosted Flakes and some lunch meat. And we get up, this guy starts cooking hash browns, bacon, and eggs, and it's like, here, help yourself. And I'm just like,
eggs and bacon with Jakey.
There you go. There you go. So, Jake, thank you.
Thank you.
I appreciate your hospitality. Thank you for your service, by the way.
Thank you.
Yeah, guys, get out there, enjoy it. find yourself a Jake. And
That's what I've been
just,
telling the ladies for years, but it's just not working. Happily divorced, I guess.
and we'll catch you guys later. You guys have a good one. Be safe. Keep it the rubber side down. And I'll get back with y'all later. Peace.